Things like state and local deductions to 401k limits posing a dilemma. And of course, that tax plan timeline is really ticking down. Remember, yesterday, 20 Republicans voted against the budget. One of those no votes joins me now, New York Congresswoman Claudia Tenney. Congresswoman Tenney, it's always great to talk with you.
Thank you. Great to be on.
Your no vote yesterday, I guess, is centered around the state and local tax deduction situation?
Exactly. As we know, tax reform is key to growth. It's one of the most important things we're going to do. But we can't have it on the backs of hardworking New Yorkers who have been held merciless and had no power against Albany's tax and spend agenda. We have some of the highest taxes in the nation. That is what causes the SALT to actually, the state and local tax deduction, to actually creep into this,
Sure.
the middle income taxpayer. It's normally something reserved for high income taxpayers and high itemizers.
Here's the problem. We discussed it last night on the show, and social media and the viewers spoke loud and clear. They say, New Yorkers, you're getting a benefit on the backs of other Americans, that you're getting subsidized by the rest of the United States. And why should someone in another state subsidize the folks in New York because we have Democrats running the state into the ground?
That's true, except for this fact. New York State taxpayers pay more in revenue than actually New York State receives in federal benefits. So actually, we're subsidizing many other states. And interesting, a state like West Virginia, one of their senators put in an amendment. It was non-binding to the Senate resolution, which would actually instruct us not to retain the state and local tax deduction. Interesting, because they have a 2-to-1 gain on the taxpayers, meaning they contribute less than what they actually receive in federal benefits. Right. So the opposite is actually true.
Well, we know money is fungible, right? So, and of course, the average person in New York earns a lot more money than the average person in West Virginia. But specifically when it comes to home ownership, why should the federal government subsidize home ownership in New York and New Jersey?
Well, we have some of the highest taxes. In fact, my county alone and my district has 62,000 itemizers, and we have some of the highest local taxes, state and local taxes in the nation. Our property tax is enormous. In many cases, we're paying some of the highest property taxes if you do it based on per thousand in value in my county alone, in Oneida County, way up in central New York, higher than the bigger counties that you would think, Westchester, Long Island. We actually pay more based on value.
I feel your pain. I live your pain. I live in New Jersey. But those same West Virginia folks that you're talking about, I don't know if you heard it, but as you were talking, they were playing the world's smallest violin. They don't like it. I got a strong feeling that either this is going to go or Republicans in these blue states are going to have to compromise. Is there room to say, okay, you know what, at least let's change the threshold a little bit so that we can save some of the lower earning folks in our states, who bought a house in part because they thought they were going to have deductions?
Certainly, we want all of the country to benefit from tax reform. This is we have a global economy. We have a very robust, as you just indicated, the stock market's going up. Our growth is over 3% now. That's fantastic. It's going to be even better when we have real tax reform to help our businesses, make them competitive overseas. Remember, we were once a manufacturing hub, and let me just put the blame squarely on the progressive tax and spend liberals in Albany who have put our taxpayers at a real disadvantage in the rest of the nation. But at the same time, let's not hurt our local taxpayers. Let's give us a chance. So yes, we're willing to compromise. We're willing to come up with some kind of, income threshold, a way to phase this out, or a way to protect our taxpayers. And let me just mention on top of it, we are eliminating the alternative minimum tax, which does help. We are also doubling the standard deduction. That catches a lot of those middle income earners in my area. But we still have to do something about, doing something in the future until we can get our governor and our, Democratic dominated, basically Democratic ruled assembly in New York to change. We are putting our taxpayers at a huge advantage. And who are our taxpayers? Many small businesses, and we know they create almost 70% of the new jobs. We need growth as well, and a lot of those are coming through pass-through. A lot of small businesses like my own, many of us, we're the ones that are paying the price, and we don't want New Yorkers to vote with their feet like they have been. We don't want them moving out and moving into other states. We want to continue the growth where growth began in the old Erie Canal, what started the Industrial Revolution, the industrial age in our country 200 years ago. The first shovel was put in my district, so we want to keep that going.
We want to keep it going. We know this is going to be a painful process, and there will have to be some compromise on all parts. And I really appreciate you coming on tonight and stating your position, Congresswoman Claudia Tenney. Thank you very much.